Uh, so thanks for joining us, and thanks Najim and organizers of India Influencers Summit to having us here today. So I've been given, I think, a very interesting topic about how's the creator economy setting up, right? So I think I'll ask my first question first to you, right? So I think you have caught the nerve of the millennials and the Gen Zs, which is a new generation, right? So what, according to you, if any of the influencers today really want to appeal to that generation, right? What is it that they are looking out for, right? If you can give us some tips or some suggestions from that perspective, that what is it that catches the nerve of Gen Z, which is a new generation coming up, and what are those guys looking out for in their influencers, and what kind of inspiration are they seeking out from the influencers?
Okay, thank you so much, Satish. So what I feel, and this is something that I'm sharing from my own experience, that what's working right now is a lot of honesty. Like, I think 3 years down the line, like बहुत पहले, अगर मैं 3 साल पहले की बात करूँ, तो people were not so much aware about mental health. No one used to come up and say कि I'm depressed and I'm feeling this way and all that. But now all these Gen Zs are like so much into it. They talk about their problems, they talk about their feelings. So I feel one thing that makes you more relatable to them is the fact that you are as honest as possible. And मुझे लगता है ना कि Gen Z जो crowd है, वो बहुत ज़्यादा ना उन्हें कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. जैसे when you used to click pictures, आपको ये कभी problem हुआ कि वो shaky क्यों आ रहा है? Now it's aesthetics. So that's how things have changed. उन्हें ज़्यादा ऐसे फर्क नहीं पड़ता कि बहुत classy होना चाहिए. If it's just the way it is, it's perfect.
So basically, it's the content that matters.
Yeah.
And the authenticity.
Yeah, the authenticity.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Interesting. Nitin, coming to you, right? So they're saying that India by end of 2023, will have the largest number of content creators. We are talking about almost 100 million content creators coming out, right? And today, I think every other boy or girl wants to become an influencer. They want to create content because it's becoming so easy today. Now, in that scenario, right, since you are also managing a few influencers and creators, how tough or easy it is in that sense, right? I mean, how do you manage, how do you sustain that those guys have a competitive advantage, because it's becoming highly competitive also, right? It's becoming difficult to sustain your attention because the attention gap is reduced a lot. So any of your thoughts out there?
Thank you so much. Thank you, Satish. Thank you so much for the introduction as well. Yeah, I think my thoughts would be that challenging तो है ही content creation, बहुत ज़्यादा challenging है. हर दिन उठ के नए content evolve करना होता है. But again, there is room for everyone. I think we're just getting started right now. There's room for everyone to create more and more content. Having more content creators coming out from India, it's only going to develop economy. It's not going to be a competition as such. Everyone is going to find their own audience. We look at the biggest examples of the country, maybe Saurabh Joshi and Gaurav Taneja right now, wherein both of them are parallelly running vlogging right now. They're the biggest vlogging channels of India. Both of them have crazy viewership every day. They're uploading every day as well. But at the same time, have different audience, different mass appeal that they have from coming from India as well. Like one is appealing to the rural India and one is appealing to the upper class of India. So yeah, that is where it is coming from. That is how it is shaping right now. So that is my thought.
Ashok, I think that really helps. One more interesting trend, and maybe a slightly disturbing trend for a lot of creators is that, when they are associating with brands, right, and the government is getting more serious on this, right? Yeah. They're now trying to put regulations on that the creators will have to clearly tell that this is a paid promotion.
Correct.
Right, and which is good also because at least the honesty comes upfront in that sense. But do you think that will impact the industry? Do you think that will impact the nature of business between brands and influencers? What are your thoughts on that?
Yes, yeah, 100%. I think regulations are very, very required. We all know what really happened with the whole crypto exchanges that they went bust. All that stuff happened very recently as well. A bunch of very mainstream creators were promoting such applications, and again, the application turned off. All that stuff happened. It went bankrupt and all that stuff. So yeah, definitely regulation is very, very required. Since we are such a new economy right now, we're just getting started right now. Involving the government would be really, really matter. It would be really, really helpful, I'm sure. And apart from that, ASCI also came up with a bunch of guidelines. But I think mainstream government authorities are yet to come in, and we really need them, honestly, because I see a lot of mainstream creators promoting something that is not required. some of these betting apps, which are operated in China or something like that. So even that happens a lot. Regulation needs to be formed. Even while me and Deepanshu work together, we always make sure we always use the application previously. We use the products for a month or so, and then we sort of put out the value. We never sort of figure that, okay, ज़्यादा पैसे मिल रहे तो कर लेते हैं. A bunch of creators think it that way. So I think regulation is only going to help us create like a more structured way, because being an opinion leader, it's very important for all of us to sort of have thoughts. And while you put that out, your audience is very, very attached to you. They would take it by the knee. They would be like, अच्छा, अगर दीपांशु ये product use कर रहा है, तो मैं भी use करता हूँ. I think I can become like him. So that is where authenticity really helps, and that is a very good negotiation, because sometimes like कुछ भी हो सकता है, wherein like we don't really know कि कोई Ponzi scheme है, कोई scam है, we don't really know. We just have to make sure that it's well regulated. So that is where we need the government and authorities to come in as well.
Sure, thanks so much. So Nitin, you mentioned about that each creator, will eventually be able to have their own niche, right? And will be able to target their own segment. So coming back to you, Deepanshu, now, if you think of this, then so what are the thoughts that you go through when you are starting to work on your new song or your new content, right? Do you think that, okay, this is the segment that I want to appeal to, or this is the topic that I want to appeal to? Any of those, when you think of creating your content, do you also think of that, okay, this is the segment that I want to target with this, and this is the insights that I want to work with, I want to work with before I create this song? What are your thoughts before you?
I think it really works very differently for songs and content. For example, if I'm making a reel, so wahan pe I'll think about this that you're saying.
Right.
But in terms of songs, there is a wide spectrum. If I'm writing a romantic song, then it will be appealing to you also,
right,
and a 7-year-old guy who just fell in love for the first time.
Right.
So it will be appealing to both of them. That's amazing, right? But at the same time, I'm going to reveal a secret that there is a formula to that also. I feel that. Like, my mind works like that because I'm an engineer. So the next song that I have written, it's called Meri Bari. And मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि मैंने उसको बहुत calculate करके लिखा है. Like the melodies that I've chosen, the words that I've used, I feel कि वो बहुत ज़्यादा reel friendly है. How many of you have made reels on Mera Safar? I have a strong feeling that you're gonna use the next song Meri Bari also, because it's very much friendly. Like I'll sing it mostly abhi, and you will realize कि oh damn, ये तो मतलब पक्का यहाँ पे transition बहुत अच्छा होने वाला है. So you can calculate things also. You just have to be aware of it. कि what is the things that is happening. For example, in terms of reels, कौन सी reels generally चलते हैं? हर्ष, transition वाले, right? Like मैं पहले ऐसा था, अब मैं इतना अच्छा हो गया हूँ. That's how the entire Instagram works, right? So the reason Mera Safar worked was because it was about a journey. That मेरा जो सफर है वही मेरा घर है. Like I really don't care about what people think about where I'm in life, about the things that I've achieved in life, because I'm enjoying the journey that I'm going through. And that's everyone's story. Everyone is suffering from something. Everyone has their own story. But the beauty is that you enjoy the journey. And the same thing is with this other song, Meri Bari. I had few romantic songs also, but I felt like now people have heard this song, Mera Safar, and I don't want to release any romantic song just now. I'm going to give the same taste thoda, but still it's different. You will realize how. And after that, I'm going to release a romantic song in the Valentine's month, that is February. So yeah, so thoda calculation karna padta hai.
All right. So,
Yeah.
so there's definitely some engineering going behind the content creation.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. So coming to what I'm going to talk about in my next session, and I think which I think Vivek spoke about, one of the technology which is happening in the creators world, which is about AI and ChatGPT. I'm going to touch upon the other technology, which is all about Web3, NFTs, and metaverses, right? Which I believe, or a lot of us believe, that will become the future way of how people will interact with artists and consume content, right? So I wanted to know both of your thoughts on this, and have you tried or have you tried to study the market on this, and what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, definitely it's going to be a part of the revolution now. Minting NFTs, for example, a very relevant example I'll give you. While we start performing for concerts and all that stuff, I really see this happening in the West right now, wherein people are selling tickets onto their NFT platforms as well. So people, like basically the audience have to mint tickets, for buying for the concert and all. So while we sort of, we enter to the BKC zone and we have to buy tickets.
Yeah.
Either we stand in the line, either we already pre-own an NFT. And at the same time, we can also sell that NFT. So I definitely see this happening in the whole Web3 wave right now, wherein artists like him and even creators can really, really monetize using platforms like Fandora as well. So I think that's really a good move. And another plus point for Web3 would be that I think it will also replace the platform dependency right now. For example, YouTube would be taking approximately 30% of your AdSense revenue. So what if you can build a community on a Web3 platform? I think that is where we are heading to right now. A lot of people have realized that, okay, platform monopoly would be the thing of the past in some time, because all of the creators are either starting their own platforms right now, in the West I'm saying, or either trying to monetize it, maybe investing in startups in Web3, or even creating content on Web3, something like that. So I'm sure this is going to be like a wave that is going to hit all of us. And I think, Satish, I even want to know your thoughts on it. Like, how are you guys helping it out? What did you guys do with Urvi? What was that like? How was that experience?
Sure. I think, thanks, Nitin. I think I'm anyway going to share my thoughts after my session post-lunch. But essentially, I think Web3 and the kind of embedded technology that it will enable, I think it will going to take the engagement level between creator and the audience to a very different level. And I'm going to talk more about it. So I think I'll save some of those words and some ideas for my talk later. But would want to know your thought also, Deepanshu, on this technology of Web3 and how do you think or do you feel that this will help you to engage with the audience in a better way? Also because you're coming from an engineering background, so I'm sure you'll know.
Yeah, I come from an engineering background, but the one thing that really excites me about this is the money factor.
Yes.
So, the fact that someone can own a certain segment of my song and they will have a right to that, and they can come to my concerts for forever, whenever I have one, and it will also give them a sense of attachment with me, because they own a part of it. Like if I love, say, A.R. Rahman's song and मुझे उसका एक part का मैं owner हूँ, तो even if I keep aside the money part, तो एक बहुत ही important feeling है मेरे लिए that I own that song. So that is a great thing. That gives a sense of ownership of that particular thing. So वो बहुत अच्छी चीज़ है. And obviously that, like Nitin mentioned, and like we were discussing, that if I release my next song, say Meri Bari, that song, okay, and I'm not really sure how the song is gonna perform. I am sure वैसे, but so if I assign a particular value to that song and I start selling the bits of it as NFT or whatever, so if the song picks up, उसकी value बढ़ेगी.
Right.
This is something which is amazing.
Right.
It can be so damn much that label की ज़रूरत ही नहीं होगी, right? So that's just amazing, and I feel कि वो बहुत ही अच्छी बात है. But just the sad part is कि awareness इसके लिए बहुत कम है.